Hello, I am Danielle Christmas, and I'm a social worker here at IUPY. It's nice to finally meet you. Is it okay if I call you Morgan?
Yeah, that works fine. I like
Okay. All right. All right, Morgan. Before we get started today, I wanted to go over a couple things. It looks like at the beginning, at the front desk, you signed some forms. Do you remember the confidentiality form?
Yeah, I kind of remember it. I'm a little bit unsure of what it means, though.
Okay. I'm just going to go over that briefly with you. It looks like with that, um, as a social worker, I'm here for you. And what happens in our conversation is between you and I. There's only a couple ways that someone else would be involved. If you want someone involved, we have some forms that we can have someone else come into our meetings, or you can have them call and ask about you in general as a client here. Also, if I needed some assistance from my superior, and they also hold the confidentiality as well. So whatever me and her speak about, if it's in regards to you, it will still be between me and her. Also, if you were to possibly cause harm to yourself or to someone else, I would have to get the authorities involved. Did you have any questions about that?
So if like my one of my friends was being nosy and called to see and I didn't want them to know, will you tell them that I'm your patient or
No, not at all, unless you sign the form advising that you want that information released.
okay.
So there's no information that will be released unless you give us consent.
Okay. That's
Okay? And I also want to let you know why I'm here. I am here as your social worker, and I'm here for you. We can discuss whatever you need to discuss, and we are also going to set some goals, and we're going to try our best to achieve those goals. So we're going to work together and seeing. I can see if there's any available resources there for you, and then if you do need some assistance, I'm able to give you that. Okay. Um, Also, we're going to meet here if that's okay with you. Is this location good here in my office?
yeah, it works. That works really great. It's in between
Okay.
school and work.
All right. And then later, before we end the session, we'll talk about dates and times as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And this session here will last maybe about 10 to 12 minutes. And really, the session is to get to know you. And at the end of the session, we can set some goals. But you're able to talk about any issues that you're experiencing um, within, personal or school, life, work, anything like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, Morgan. I'm also going to take a couple notes here and there just so I can go back and reference it when we are setting goals. So it's up to you. Anything that you want to talk about? Um, is there anything that brings you here specifically today?
Yeah, I've actually been having some issues with anxiety. I've always had anxiety my whole life, but more now than ever. Well, within the last few years, it's been getting really bad to where it's creating a lot of stress, obviously, the anxiety, and then just more problems in my life than I would hope for. And it's just causing a lot of like depression and problems in my life. And I'm just trying to figure out how to manage the stress and the anxiety that I have.
Okay. All right. So you're experiencing some stress and some anxiety. Is there anything that is specifically making you stressed out or having causing anxiety problems?
Well, I don't really have, like, I have a stressful lifestyle. Like, I work two jobs and then go to school, but that's not really what causes the stress. It's just like I have like a social anxiety disorder, or I was diagnosed my junior year with just generalized anxiety disorder to
Okay.
where when like we meet in class settings or in convocations. There was a social work convocation recently to where I just get really nervous. And in social settings, I start to have panic attacks and to where I have to get up and leave for a little while and then calm down.
Yeah.
Um, it just seems to be meeting more in on campus classes and I can't really control it. I don't know why I get so nervous. I just dealing in social situations. One-on-one conversations are fine, but when it comes to like a big group meeting where I have to talk in front of people, or I just get really nervous. And that's really what's been causing the problems recently.
Yeah, that sounds like it can be very stressful, especially since it's in a social setting and classes and stuff like that. Um, have you tried doing online classes? Would that help with your anxiety?
Yeah. I went to IU East in Richmond, and I
Yeah.
got transferred this semester to IUPUI. And
Hmm.
so far, I've done all online classes except for this semester. I'm doing two on campus to where they weren't offered online, so I had to take them on campus. But it really helps to do online classes because I'm still getting the education and just not dealing with the stress. I
Yeah.
learn just as much, but it takes a lot of discipline to keep yourself on track to not getting behind on the readings or the papers or just the homework and procrastinating, which I seem to have some trouble doing.
Okay.
But I just, online classes really help. I took freshman year of college is when I really had my worst episode where I actually dropped out of classes because I was in all on campus classes.
Hmm.
And that's really and it was 4 days out of the week, pretty much for like 5 hours a day or 6 hours. So it was a pretty heavy course load because of being a freshman and not getting the schedule I wanted. So that's when I really figured out about what was causing the anxiety. And that's when I uh, ended up dropping out and then doing all online starting from there, except for here and there I try to balance it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Seems like, yeah, having classes online would be a better situation for you, but I know sometimes they don't just offer it and it can be just really hard. Um, okay, so is procrastinating, is that making, I know you said that sometimes, that can trigger some anxiety. Does maybe helping and getting some organization and maybe when we get organized, would that help with, the procrastinating?
I think so. I think organizing and setting, and I like to put a calendar out and set time aside for each thing, but sometimes I don't stick to my calendar, which is the thing, and I just push it back until the latest time. Right now, more than ever, because it's the end of the semester, and the I'm just seem to be pushing everything back a couple days, and then it just all adds to the stress and anxiety that I'm having right now, dealing with trying to get everything done and write a good paper at the same time and not have it rushed. So it's just, I think organizing helps, but I need to get better at doing that and set and keep myself on track to staying organized.
Yeah, I think once maybe we can set some goals for organization that might, help out. And then if that isn't something that's for you, we'll try something else. So, I mean, for right now, we're going to set that goal, and that'll be one of our goals. Maybe getting some organization skills going, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And regarding, I know you said you work two jobs. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I actually have worked at a Chinese restaurant in my hometown for it'll be 6 years in May since I was a
Oh.
freshman in high school. And I just continue to work that because they're really nice and let me pick my hours basically. So
Hmm.
I only work about uh, 15 hours there a week, but then I also work, I don't have a set schedule at my other job, but every once in a while, probably 2 days a week, I work at Crawford and Company. It's an insurance company in Indianapolis. And I work there as the fill-in for the secretary or just whenever she needs me to when she has extra work that she needs done. So I go in there usually from 8 to 5, about 2 days a week, and then work the other 2 days at my other job. So it's it's not full-time or anything, but it still takes away from time I could be doing homework and still just it's working. So
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Having two jobs, it's a lot, and I think you're doing a wonderful job. Being able to manage two jobs, that is awesome, and also being able to do schoolwork and find the time for yourself. And
mhm.
I mean, do you have any personal time where you take to just kind of recollect yourself and get that breath of fresh air?
Usually Thursdays are my day where I go over to one of my friend's house and we work on homework. So I'm not only doing it like just time to myself, but
Hmm.
I'm also with my friend. And so we both work on homework and a lot of times we don't actually get anything done, but it's time to myself to
Yeah.
hang out with a friend and relax a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes that's just what we need. We just need a friend just to, keep us together. And I think that's a great outlook that you have, and a great way to escape some of the stress you have, and maybe spending some time with your friend is exactly what you need. And I know you guys are trying to get homework done, but once you get to that point where you feel a little bit more comfortable and stress relieved, then maybe we can you can do have time with spending time with friends and going out, and then have time doing homework with your friend. And it's a great way to get the assistance to work together. And maybe that it might help with your anxiety, being able to have that connection with someone else and being able to work together. And maybe soon you can escalate that to a group setting. And I know maybe that might help with your social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else maybe that you can do to distress?
I like to just listen to music. And I also like watching movies, which I realize more than ever recently, because it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours where you just don't focus on anything in your life but the movie, and it really helps me to relax really for a couple hours and just not, because everything's away from my mind, and I just focus on the movie, and it helps to relax myself.
Okay, yeah, that's another good outlook. You're just right there on the ball. So sometimes it's good to just get that type of relaxation, as well as where you're not able to focus on anything. It's just you and your movie. So that's another good way for you to distress. And we'll set some goals, and maybe once a week you can do a movie night with you and a friend, or maybe just yourself, and that can help you get that calming effect if that's what you need. We got about 2 minutes left of our meeting, so we're going to get it wrapped up. Just to recap, it looks like you're having some, issues with stress and anxiety, and sometimes it's just social anxiety. You are working 2 jobs, which is wonderful, and you are also in school, and that's just such a great thing. But with your social anxiety, maybe we can work, maybe getting organized and setting some time management goals. And also, maybe to help with your social anxiety, you can spend some time with a couple friends in a group setting, and we'll work our way up to that. But maybe just spending time with your friend and maybe going out, and that might help you. And just maybe spending some, get you some you time as well in. So maybe that'll help with your stress level, okay? Did you have any questions or any concerns?
No, I think doing these goals, it'll help me towards relieving some of my stress and anxiety. I think it sounds good.
Okay. All right. Then we're in agreement. So, all right. So just to make sure, we're going to meet here next time. Will today, I'm sorry, will the same time next week work for you?
Yeah, that actually works perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll see you then. It was nice meeting you, Morgan, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.